morning, Levi! It's Wednesday. I don't know if you know this, but National Vlog Day is right around the corner. Feels like only a day since we celebrated it last. Time really has flown. You know, I'm getting to the age where things like these start to creep up on me a little bit more. Makes me think about how long we've been doing these videos. I wish I could go back in time and give myself some advice. Stop! I'm me from the future. Yeah, you knew I would be here? I kinda intuited just cause we look the same and you're wearing the same clothes. That's fair, but I'm here to stop you from flashing back and doing this bit, because I was just editing it, and it's not funny. I kinda had that feeling too, but is this funny? Not really, but it's better than nothing. You do realize I'm gonna have to get a time machine by the end of the day to make this make sense, right? Just play this and I'll handle that. I've heard a ton about Chrono Trigger, mainly that it's the best RPG of all time, and especially the SNES era. That is a huge expectation to place over a nearly 30-year-old game, one that I assumed was impossible to match. Well, I was proven wrong, and this game actually gets surprisingly close to beating out some of my favorite games of all time. But let's start with the basics, how this game portrays the traditional RPG elements. Everything in this game's mechanics is about what you would expect it to be. It all seems to be very by the books and honestly, even a little boring. Items and equipment work exactly how you'd expect, the combat has regular and special attacks that use MP, and even the active time battle system, which you might remember from Off, is still pretty standard. That is until you realize that the reason all the mechanics are by the book is because the game is the book. Chrono Trigger and its square relatives of the era are the pioneers of the genre and set the tone for how games would handle RPG mechanics in the future, so in that way, it's unfair to label Chrono Trigger's RPG elements as redundant because it is the game that makes all other RPGs redundant. And Chrono Trigger does everything extremely well too. Everything comes together in a satisfying way, and trying out new party members and discovering all the game has to offer is such an incredibly rewarding experience because every new ability is satisfying and fun. This game excels at making an incredible foundation for the real star of the show, the story and gimmick. Well, it looks like the right place. What do you want? I'm in the market for a time machine. I gotta solve the time paradox.
Solve, you say? I normally help people create them.
That seems dangerous.
Yeah, well, a lot of people buy time machines, realize they didn't want them, go back in time to stop themselves from getting it. Like those two idiots. You know, future's not actually that great. There's like more people.
Oh. Yeah, I think I'm good. And that happens often?
Sequentially, yes.
How do you stay in business?
I got my past self to go and buy Bitcoin, so I'm staying afloat with profits.
That's pretty smart. They peaked pretty high if I remember.
Now that you mentioned it, I should have sold. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
The main selling point of Chrono Trigger these days is no longer its stellarly solid mechanics, but rather the main gimmick. That being, you guessed it, time travel. As the main character Chrono, you and your 5 friends travel to different eras to stop a monster named Lavos from destroying all of humanity in the year 1999. You're basically given free reign to travel these different time periods, and while the story is still fairly linear compared to modern day games, it still feels incredibly expansive to play through. Even when there sometimes wasn't, it always felt like there was more to do in the game that I missed by playing the main story. While that might sound like a bad thing, like I'm missing out on game, it ended up making me feel like the world was much more expansive than it was in reality, and it created a cohesive world that felt alive. Speaking of alive worlds, Chrono Trigger does an amazing job of continuity. All of the choices you make in the past affect the future in satisfying ways. For example, there's a very minor plot point where you need to buy some food from a vendor in the past. At first, the woman selling to you offers to give you the food for free, but if you still pay her, then she teaches her descendants to be generous like you were, and 400 years later, the person who lives in that house now is willing to give you a great item for free. There are so many little instances of things like this, and that's something I adore with time travel plots. Making everything connected in those tiny ways is what makes me love time travel science fiction, and it would have been so easy for the developers, especially of that era, to not put in as much effort and just treat time travel like disconnected settings.
Handle broke off again, so I had to take care of something.
I'm looking for something cheap but also reliable. I don't want to be in the shop all the time.
Oh, of course. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. This bad boy right here, it's got incredible years per stuffed animal. It might be a little too pricey for you.
Yeah, I think so. Do you have anything used?
We do have this beautiful Buick model. It's got negative 200 years on it though.
Since when did Buick make time machines?
200 years from now. And this bad boy has all the amenities a modern time machine would have. It even has the back seats slide forward for extra grocery space.
Wow, what's the catch?
Gotta negotiate the price.
The writing and character development in Chrono Trigger is also on a level I fully did not expect. While many things in this game felt like the best of the genre, the jokes and overall style of this game came across better than many modern titles. It nails both comedic and serious moments with a balance that makes the game world feel realistic. It's always frustrating to me when a game tries to be too much and it takes itself too seriously, especially with writing, because that's simply not how people act. Chrono Trigger does a great job at building characters that care about each other in the world, but also care about having fun and being happy. There's even a shocking amount of development for the party members, and while not everyone gets the attention they deserve, I would have loved more focus on Chrono because he's the epitome of blank slate protagonist. It's still impressive how much depth they added to the characters.
So, how's about we start at 20?
Okay, yeah, I think that would work.
1,000.
What? Are you serious?
Pennies.
Why would you say it like that?
Well, what do you say? Do we have a deal?
I don't know, man. You're really yanking my chain. Can we take that down to 10?
Man, you're really putting me in a bind. Can we meet at 18?
You're twisting my arm, friend. I'm really gonna need something closer to 12.
Lowest I can go is 16.
The missus isn't gonna be happy with anything higher than 14.
The manager says I can't go lower than 15.
15! Yes, I'll take it. That's what I was hoping for the whole time. Thanks for the great price, loser.
Alright, well, that's what I was planning anyway. It's already on the paperwork.
Chrono Trigger is a game that, even with my high expectations, really impressed me. I didn't actually think it was going to be one of the best RPGs of all time when I bought it, but I thought I at least had to give it a shot. After my 30 plus hours of playtime, I can honestly say this is a must-play game for anyone who remotely enjoys the genre. While it doesn't quite beat out games like Bug Fables for my favorite RPG ever, what it did for the genre and how it perfects things that games today are still trying to get a handle on make it still very much worth your time. With all that in mind, go ahead and wishlist this game on Steam, because you'll certainly want to pick it up when it goes on. Hey me, got the time machine. Oh, awesome. Nice work. Yeah, so all you have to do is edit this video and then go back in time like I did. Wait, why didn't we just use the time machine you used to get here with? Oh, that one's for me. I gotta get back to my timeline. Wait, before you go, in the future, are we happy? I don't know. I'm from like 10 hours from now. I'll take that as a yes. Levi, I'll see you on Saturday.